I don't know why he hung up the phone on me. So I was busy telling my GP about my background. And he didn't like the fact I was telling him my life story. He asked me why I changed my name, and I told him, and then he hung up the phone. I don't know why he hung up the phone on me. It sounds like Amy. Wow. Look at all these paperworks I'm trying to organise and deal with pain at the same time, and sleep deprivation. Is disgusting. The witch had removed my privacy, had loads of lovers, loads of social networks, and then she discovered my sacred truth, how I read my Bible in private. She removed my privacy and my human rights. She then copied that to worship the man so she can get a new man. So she's worshipped him as a human god and God by using the Bible, the chapter and the verses. She's taken my information to worship God, to worship the man. But what's more insulting, and how it's adding insult to my injuries and insulting God, is that she goes to the man who is an atheist and she puts him on a pedestal. She's put him beneath her so that he can also worship her and worship each other as an unholy couple. So they're stealing the Bible. This is my Bible over here. And I mark it. I put my labels on it. And this witch goes in there, but it's not to worship God. It's to bless herself or himself. And the way they read the holy books is unholy because it's there only to bless themselves and their family and their tribes. But people who are orphans and outcasts are called cursed, are further boxed in, cornered, our human rights are removed. And it's terrible. It's the same principle of slavery coded in technology, where they can invade our privacy. And particularly these rich people who are all middle-class people who are already established. So because they printed the book or because they've invented the language, they can now put their name on it, which is the same as someone who would remove the ancient stone road sign and name and put their name on it because they modernized it or because they pay for the AI. So everything I have to research and to reveal for my simplicity and my convenience, they would then take that code and that signal and use it only for their community and exclude God's people. It's totally deranged and inhuman and cruel. So, for example, I've been reading, I won't say. I know exactly where she's gone to find his profile so she could worship him, who originally took interest in me. So now he's a Jacob, but he's the devil's Jacob. He isn't God's Jacob. It's terrible. So these men now are only accustomed or created by an AI and by technology fashion to only be interested in women who don't really need him. They've got their family, they've got their communities, and I haven't. I need the man more than the adulteress and the one who has already had too many lovers. So I need a helper, just like Eve in the garden. She needed a helper and Adam needed a helper. I need a helper. I've got no one to help. So the more I reach out into using the AI, the more they strip away my human rights so that it's no longer a tool, it becomes a weapon. And they're saying, you're not allowed help, we're going to defraud you, we're going to attack you in every direction. And this is enabled in England, which is the richest country in the world, disguised as the 6th richest country in the world, which is another lie. So they're the worst type to suit these white supremacist, elitist and superiors who are already established and who already worship the groupthink and we are stronger in number. And I'm saying no. One person can knock out the entire, one scribe, one person can knock out the entire town. One individual is stronger, but the nation is the same as a drop in the bucket, according to God. Because they violate the law, they make laws to suit themselves, and because they're a fraud. They abuse powers, which is witchcraft. So the poorest are more important than the rich. The weakest are more important than the strong. Those who come across as drained, ugly, tired, exhausted are more beautiful than the beautiful models. The women who are single are more beautiful are more right compared to the couples because they rely on each other, they don't rely on God. So the longer I remain single, the more I rely on God than the man. But if I had a man, I would rely on the man more than God for practical support and emotional support. So I have to be determined not to allow that to happen. And God knows my mind and my heart. I would not allow it to happen. I always put God first. Rely on God for my intelligence, my beauty, my strength, my baby, my bonus. So these witches and wizards and monsters have come along and destroyed my holy power using technology. And God said, don't use technology. And I said to God, I argue with you. Technology is supposed to be my convenience. I cannot carry things. And then God argued back, if you use technology, you'll be overpowered, outnumbered, and it will be your inconvenience. It will be a weapon. God, I am not Putin. Putin hates technology. You know I'm not Putin. I want to be able to use the diversity of learning and convenience for the poor and stand up for the poor and for our human rights. And then God didn't argue back. It's not fair that it's wrong, it's wicked that they have segregated our society and communities in tribes. They don't like newcomers. They don't like new people. The word new is totally destroyed by new technology and narcissists, sociopaths, psychopaths, schizophrenics, Satanists, sinners. They don't like anything new. They don't like change without the money. They don't like change or newness without sex or drugs involved in it. They don't like the newborn baby without sex and drugs involved in it. So if you're a single mum who has been beaten up and abused, taking care of that child alone, you're automatically discredited and shamed. And the Bible and the Holy Spirit is a witness of that. God took away my shame and said, you're no longer a mother, you're no longer a single mother, and you will find love. You will find love for the first time. You will find a supporter for the first time. You will no longer be a slave to the system or a slave to evil women. You will no longer be ashamed of your youth. So God promised this to me. So the devil comes along to remove the promises God gave me on his motorbike, in his car revving engine that should be illegal. It is antisocial to rev your car on your motorbike engine. you're the same as an a-hole, because it's the same as fireworks being popping off every day, which is an intrusion. It's an invasion of privacy. Animals don't like it. Humans don't like it. Adults, children don't like it, because it's too noisy for a start, and to a stop, it's too invasive. So when if he drives off normally on his motorbike and car, that's normal. But if he drives off revving his engine aggressively, like he's going on for a race or he's going to go and have a fight, with adrenaline and making it sound very hostile, that is antisocial, and that happens a lot. I deliberately didn't record it, because if I recorded it, they celebrate, because they've empowered criminals and antisocial, and people who are not antisocial and not criminals are less empowered. We're not empowered at all. We're actually incriminated and forced to be one of them. I'm not going to be one of them. I don't want to be one of them. I'm more beautiful, more intelligent, more holy. They take holiness and purity and pervert it. I want nothing to do with them. They make rules and plans and schemes and plots. And they find a profile that fits someone to corrupt it and glorify it to the devil, which is outrageous. I've got some icy water to keep me cool, and I've got a flannel to keep me cool with water. But what they've done is modernize my bathroom to make it look new, but it's still old, because it's still the old system of draining too slow. I told them this, they've ignored me, like the landlord. Why did you give me a new shower that still drains very slow and keeps bacterial? So I can buy lots of antibacterial liquid to clean the shower tray. However, it drains very slowly, which is very, very, very rude and wrong, disrespectful to people who are disabled and who have survived thrush rush and sepsis, fungal bacterial. So every time I wash, it's the same as it's the same as showering in the toilet, because it doesn't drain well. I told them this last week. They've totally ignored it this week. And they've done it deliberately, made it look so that they look innocent. Let's put this. So what they've done, that's my foot thing to wash my feet. This entire thing is an utter nightmare. The only thing that's right is that this is waterproof. I paid £1,000 for a lawyer and a judge during the pandemic COVID-19. I never got that money back for one letter, which they have also deleted, asking for watertight and airtight shower doors. Finally got the shower doors. They're not broken, but I'm using it as a wet room and mopping it every time, because it's extremely small. And I also let the water drain, so the drain it's draining. That's why I leave it to hang to drain the last drop, because if you put it up there, the last drop doesn't clear the head. And so as a disabled person, the drainage system, it was all yellow and dark under there. I have to use a descaler and an antibacterial every time, with a mop with an extra long handle, because I cannot bend to scrub it. Just for that. And there's a mop for that, just for that. And there's a mop for this, just for that. And I bought my own draining thing here. So it doesn't, the water, they said, is now going out into the mains rather than through the building. But it's still too slow. The suction isn't strong enough. So they've gutted everything. They've stripped all the floors and given a new vinyl, but they made it look new and perfect. But however, my mop is drying over there. There's two of them, one for the floors and one for the shower tray, where I scrub it and put antibacterial things in there. But they're very crafty and nasty. Well, what was the point of rebuilding a new system when you're only going to give me the same old draining system? I've got some lavender. I've got a lavender there. Powder cup. I'm using a plastic cup. And I've also got these modern type of to wash the clothes with. These are modern type. But they're lurking around very quietly. So I've got lemongrass that I love. This is lemongrass. I'm at the moment putting my porridge, I like it cold, which is banana milk and banana squished. Making some potatoes. And yeah. So, oh dear, it's very bad what they're doing. Very, very bad. Oh, they've taken control over my. I'm trying to turn the camera on. They've taken control over everything. My post office. They come across as really gentle and tender and quiet and softly spoken. They're even more dangerous than the loud people. And they're using the loud people to attack me. It's a total takeover. It's a total control. So it's the same thing. It looks new, but it isn't new because the draining system is still the same. It's still old or still set up in the old setting. The pipes are new, but the setting is the same. Oh my God. They're the only ones that dominate this neighborhood and the parents go chatting to other parents. It's like a playground but actually it's a crime scene. And they say, oh, you can't play. You must hate her because she stopped you from playing. Which is unfair. I haven't stopped anyone from playing. They're too lazy to take their children to the park. I remember breaking my back taking my daughter to the park, pushing her bicycles and all of this every day. Where's the credit? Where's the compliment to me? They've moved away now. It also puts me off my food. It puts me off taking my medication. It puts me off getting some sleep and rest. I'm surprised no one else has said anything. Because they like to keep their windows shut. Oh my God. In the summer, every summer they put swimming pool there. And it's constant noise. And the noise echoes. It's like you have to stop and stand still and listen to them. Even if you got earplugs in, it's like a sudden interruption, similar to a dinosaur or a big dragon going around everywhere. It is a crime because the parents are not regulating it. They're very bad parents. And then this official from Thrive Home said, oh, you don't like their parental methods. I said, you what? It's a principle. It's a basic principle that they're disturbing my peace and my right to have privacy and not have to speak to them. And she said, the official said, quote, you're antisocial because you won't speak to the parents. I shouldn't have to speak to any parents, especially the fact that they're antisocial. I mean, in how are they antisocial? They only think about themselves. They're selfish, greedy, and nasty. It seems as though they've put a giant invisible tent there, and it's the garden only for them. The sunshine is only for them. So if you were camping and you had children going camping for the first time, and then they're scared of a spider or some creepy crawler saying, what is this? What is that? And yet there is no tent there. There's no swimming pool there yet. And they're overreacting. They're over-emotional. I know that there will be later on. It's May now. It will probably be a swimming pool and a tent there. They usually do that. Oh my God. I'm taking the mickey and the mockery of their mess. It's like they're sitting on the toilet and making noise while you're in the toilet. It's so disgusting. It's like they've got no sense of over the top behavior, too much noise, none of that. Total freedom. While I have none. No freedom at all. I can't say boo to anyone. I can't say anything. I can't do anything. I've got no civil rights, no human rights. I'm putting a disinfectant which smells either of wood or flowers, and I've diluted it with water. For regularly, sometimes if I don't use slippers and I'm barefooted, I then wipe my feet or wipe the waterproof bed regularly with. And so much damage has been done as a result of living at this property, losing my daughter for not having capital or colonial big community. So this big bad guy has a community who's ganging up on me, who has no community, which is totally cruel, calculated, crafty. I think they're rewarded for making all that noise. I think they're deliberately done, set up there to incriminate me. So I've got here my disinfectant. I do the same thing for the toilet. I wipe my toilet seat every time I use it. It smells so good. And then on the floor as well. I don't use bleach, I use disinfectant. And then I use the tray for an antibacterial clean up the tray. There's no bath. This is my elbow. They've got a little bit more quiet now. I could whisper. But this documentation will get me somewhere eventually. I'll eventually catch them. I feel like they're the Smurfs and I'm the grumpy one. No, I'm the Smurf. You're the grumpy one. Oh, I think they're trying to frame me as the bad guy. That's how they sound like. Like I say, even spastic sounds better than them. People, but you can't call them that now. It's rude to call them that. They're called Down syndrome and learning disabilities. You're not allowed to call them spastics. You're not even allowed to call them cripple. You're not allowed to call black people black people. It's 8:36. But as soon as I stop recording, they start making the noise again. Oh my God. It's like these perverts and obscurances of justice look at exactly what I buy, and then they boast that they've got something better than I have bought, or the double of what I bought. They're doing surveillance in me for saying that I'm using welfare system to survive and I should be ashamed, or that I'm relying on taxpayers' money, which is a lie because it's not taxpayers' money to have the welfare system. That's another lie. I have nothing to be ashamed of. I haven't done anything wrong. But nosy parkers and smear campaigners have done everything wrong. Brutal. It's brutal. Maybe I'll capture the car also, the car engine. I'm being ganged up on. I'm sure I'm being ganged up on. I'm going to finish my porridge. This is a banana porridge with banana milk. And it tastes yummy. There's no sugar at all. There's no honey. There's no sweet syrup or sweeteners. It's just plain banana. Actually, this banana milk, let's see if I can show it. Banana flavor milk probably has sweeteners in it. It probably has got, and then I wash it by putting water in, and then I cut it into tiny little pieces. This has to be my favorite juice, which is not 100% natural. It's concentrated, but I love it so much. It's my favorite, pineapple and coconut. Tastes banana. I think they want to prove their narrative that there's something wrong with me, when in fact it's the other way around. They've arranged this. They've groomed their children to do this. They deserve a punch in the face. The parents deserve a punch or a slap on the face. But it certainly won't be me doing it. I haven't hired anyone to do it for me. I'm not the one who's got the problem here. Simply for saying the fact that being harassed like this, I don't deserve it. People who stalk women, or families and couples that stalk women, are perverts, especially single women. And when a man proposed to a single woman for marriage and to have kids with her, and then she writes to him, to test him by writing to him, it does not make her a harasser. It makes him a harasser because he's the one who's constantly at my door. That happened to me before, nearly 20 years ago. They've got the laws upside down, twisted and warped in this country quite a lot. And anybody who is a professional and honest, keep their integrity in their profession, soon loses their jobs. This is not the case only in England, it's the case in every country in the world where it is an ancient demon that says, I will never suffer. Arrogance. And we call this demon in the Bible called Babylon, Baal, Beelzebul, and the Tower of Babel. The super strong, the super fit, the brutal, the BS, the arrogant. It's always been God's enemy. Why should I be punished for her crimes? God says, get out of her spirit. Don't join on her spirit. Wear your earplugs. Ignore them. Don't speak to them because you'll be punished for speaking to them. And God is absolutely spot on accurate. There's no reasoning with the unreasonable and the abusive. And yet they can turn that around on me and say, I'm the one who's abusive for saying I want to have some peace and quiet. I'm the one who's abusive for saying this is my boundary, you can't cross it here. I'm the one who's abusive for speaking to them and saying it's upsetting me because I miss my daughter. I'm the one who's abusive, am I? For saying I have a right to privacy. I'm abusive now, am I? No, I'm not. It's them who are the abusive. Why would they twist this? How could anybody out of their mind, they're insane, twist this and turn it around simply because they have more money and more community compared to me? It's still not fair. It still does not make it right. And they're saying, well, life is a bitch and life is unfair. Really? You say that. I don't say that. Life should be fair and life should not be a bitch. Life should not be a bully. There is sometimes a time when you have to bully. There's sometimes a time when you have to nag. But not all the time. And they do it all the time, which makes it unbearable. It becomes a pest. It's worse than being harassed. It's being pestered. It's being harmed. It's being bullied. To the extreme. I don't believe I was ever that much of a bully or a nagger. I don't nag much. Not much. As long as it gets done, the right thing gets done. I only have to say it once or twice. If I have to say it more than twice, I become furious. So if you're not going to listen to me, get out. Get out of my face. I want nothing to do with you. And then it becomes a fight. Because I don't like nagging anybody. They either respect my instructions or move out of my way. If anyone disrespects me, particularly those who I love, I just simply say, get out of my way. If you're going to disrespect me while I'm showing you respect, I want you out of my way. But it becomes more complicated when it's a stranger. You have to speak to them as a one-off. When it comes to a stranger, you have to confront them as a one-off. And then I have to record them, which is a tedious task. You have to record a bully, a nagger, someone who harasses you all the time, emotionally abuses you all the time. I've never done that to anybody, never. And yet I was punished for their crimes and their wrong behaviours. Because I don't have community, family or money. That's what you call a failure of the system and a failure of those who make corrupt laws or partial laws and partial judges to say they compliment colonialists and capitalists only. I have not come to this planet to say that life is a bitch. Maybe you have. I have not come to this planet to live and to exist, to constantly be forced to be in a toxic environment where there's poison every place I turn. If I was living in the wild, I would accept that. I'm living in a domestic environment. It's not a wild environment. So I expect it for people to uphold their laws. So they're lawbreakers, they're criminals. It's not a civilization then, is it? Right. If I was living in the wild, on the field somewhere, with tents and all of this, I would expect to live with a bully, to live with the enemy, to confront the enemy, to negotiate with the enemy, to talk with the enemy, to fight with the enemy, to even spill blood. Rather have them dead than me dead. What dog eats dog. But since I'm not in the wild, this is supposed to be a civilized environment, I expect it to be different in the positive sense, where you shouldn't have to talk to them and say, well, keep the noise level down, consider other people. I shouldn't have to say that. It's a common sense. Maybe they don't have any common sense. Maybe they're that thick. Well, I think they do have common sense. They do it deliberately to annoy and to show off that they have that dominion, which gets on my nerves, gets under my skin. They do it in the day, in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, and at night. This mad woman goes around at night between 11 and midnight, walking her dog in peace while she whistles or she makes a noise which is very high-pitched. It makes you feel startled, and you jump in bed when you're just about to fall asleep, and you jump in bed with this woman whistling or calling to her dog while she's walking the dog. I haven't captured that yet. It's beyond bullying. It's come to the point of witchcraft. It's beyond dominion. It's come to the point of witchcraft. So one law for the rich and one law for those who have colonialism and another law for those who don't. They also sound very croaky with an extra deep voice. I've noticed that. Like, when I was in my country and listening to neighbours, the men's voice is deeper, the woman's voice is not as deep. But in this country, the woman's voice is deeper than the men's voice, which is disgusting. It puts me off English men forever. I don't want a gay man, a gay frog. Sorry, I'm not being racist, but this is the reality check. This is a case in my neighbourhood, maybe not in all the neighbourhoods, but it is in my neighbourhood. Actually, the men are so... even when they laugh, they sound like a woman. My ex-husband, I only had one. When he laughed, he sounded like a woman. I couldn't believe it. Not all the time, but occasionally he sounded like a woman. Are all Englishmen like that? I'm not married. If I'm remarried again, sorry, wherever you come from, you have to be one of me, a Serbian. I've had enough with all the other nations where my nation doesn't live at all. I'm an ethnic minority, and I'm proud of my ethnicity, my survival skills in a foreign country. Moja sreća. I ja volim mnogo da jedem ovo. Krompir? Ne. So in English we have porridge. In Serbia we have wheat. And semolina. We don't have much corn flour. We prefer semolina and powdered wheat and other beautiful, yummy maize and things like that, and barley and things like that. Yeah, I miss my native food. I can't afford it. It's very expensive. Mediterranean food is much better than English food. Mediterranean is much better than the English. The weather, the people, the social. Not necessarily, well, it depends if you're rich. Again, it's this rich shite. S-H-I-T, shite. In other words, mess, dirt. It's going around through this Babylon system where it says if you are rich, you have the best life. If you're poor, you have the worst life. And it's totally unfair. It never used to be like this. People were so much more kinder. They would share each other's food and have the door open and respect each other. Don't go in the fridge without asking. But that's how the communities used to be, only 100 years ago, but not anymore. They would go in your fridge. They would eat all your food. It's horrible. They will leave you with nothing. They will strip you naked, lie in your face, and stab you in the back. That's what the society is now, a sick society. I'm almost finished my porridge and it's gone quiet because they know I'm recording. Yeah, I'm nearly finished. Haha, I'm enjoying this banana porridge. Once is because they were damaging the bins. They were kicking the bins and they were climbing the fences. So I don't record children, I recorded the parents. So my bear has the sock, and when my feet get frozen, I take the socks at night. Oh, it's unbearable pain I've got. My nervous system, I've got pain. This is torture. This is torment. And it's constantly reminding me of my daughter. When my daughter was here, they refused their children to play with my children, my one and only. And they've kidnapped my daughter since I've arrived at this property. They've kidnapped her and used corrupt officials to write false reports and to put blame and shame on me on everything that they've created that was a disaster and a chaos. So again, they're playing in an area they're not supposed to play, and I'm not recording children. But I am documenting it. I've got videos of it. And I will not be troubled. They should be the ones who are troubled. And it seems impossible to find any protection. Isn't that cute? Now my bear has both socks. I'm not insane. I don't pretend my bear is a baby. But they're around there. They're making a lot of noise. It's 8 o'clock. I'm supposed to be relaxing. I don't want to talk to them. I'm just documenting it. You can hear them running around on that sand. They've deliberately put that litter there, that sound there, to make the sound effects. They say, oh, you're antisocial. I'm not antisocial. They're antisocial. Indeed. And so I think they will realise that I possess something more everlasting, more kind, more loving, more considerate, while they don't consider me. And that's the whole point of doing this video. To publicly expose abuse. So this is their freedom in the evening. It's 8 o'clock in the evening. There it is, the time. And in the summer, it carries on until 9, 10, 11 at night. They're greedy for running around, greedy for gain, greedy for being the center of attention. That's another reason why I'm not filming them, because if I talk to them or confront them, they'll say I'm mad, and they'll say I'm unreasonable. It would be their narrative then. So, why are you recording my kids? And I said, well, you put them there, idiot. Why are you recording my kids? They don't watch their kids kicking and destroying the bin and kicking and destroying the fences. I've got that video. That my children never behave like that. It goes to show that they're very bad, toxic parents, and they're the ones so antisocial. Because they don't give me peace and quiet or enjoyment, I have to wear earplugs. It's like having a poltergeist, living with a poltergeist. So, I asked in my religious faith, is there any point in being pure and being a Christian when the government has made all the bad and the wicked thrive, prosper, and be successful, that they give them a wink and they let them break the laws? They don't confiscate their toys. They give them bad freedom without ever shouting at them, without ever telling them to keep the noise down, without telling them and their companions to consider those who don't have companions, and to consider those who have pain constantly and they have to be indoors constantly. So this should be the correct type of confiscation that should be accepted for wrong behavior. That's what I did with my daughter, but that's very rare because she very rarely made any bad behaviors. She did struggle, though, to tell the truth. Or she would not reveal the truth because she wasn't allowed to at school. The school would teach her to do this Pandora box, to keep the truth hidden and lock it up in a diary or in a box, which is abuse. It's child abuse. It's total child abuse. I've got my English flag here, which was also stolen by the commoners. It originated from the Christians. The building of the cities in America and in England originated from Europeans. So they're horrible thugs. They behave like lunatics. And they teach their children to behave like lunatics. So here we have not the children being at fault. It's the teachers, the officials, and the neighbours who are at fault here. So I don't have any problem with cheerleading and people making noise, playing out for freedom and all of this. Cheerleading in the right place at the right time, not in the wrong place, not in the wrong time. I believe in steadfastness, consistency. I have faith and trust in those who are supposed to not be prejudiced against people in poverty who are suffering or in a difficult struggle, to be protected and not to have their protections removed. Not to lose their confidence in these officials and these experts who are supposed to reward good behavior. Instead, they reward bad behavior, which are bad officials and experts in that case. So I have to keep putting my earplugs in and out, and yet they're not my children. They probably have demonized me to their children. And I have heard the same father, the same men in that area say there's a monster that lives up there. So they called me a monster. They are obeying their parents to come here and bug me. Nobody else has a litter of sand or stones, like grovel, and it's not grovel, I can't remember what it was called. It looks like sand made of like lots of stones in an area where you have free areas to hang your clothes. And their excuse is the parents are saying no one is hanging their clothes. But the strange thing is, this is not their block. They're greedy to extend their blocks. So the block of other areas, none of the other 3 or 4 areas for the other blocks have got stones on it. Only mine has. So it's a frame. It's framing me to point fingers at that. Their narrative says I'm the monster. Their narrative says I'm the one who is antisocial. And they've taken their household families to gang up against me, to say I'm the one who's the witch for reading my Bible. I'm the one who's ugly and stupid for doing the right thing. And everything that their parents have secretly promised them as a reward for causing me disturbance. So I have inherited hate crime by my neighbours. My own home feels like a prison rather than a home. And they're not ashamed. I don't even know them. They're total strangers. I've tried to get to know them. I've tried to be reasonable with unreasonable and abusive individuals. And my firm foundation, which is 13 years of the right to live here, has totally been destroyed to the point that I cannot cope with it anymore. I can no longer ignore it because it's getting worse. It seems as though they're literally putting their feet in through my door. I'm forced to live with these invaders and these intruders. Similar to what you call the Jehovah's Witness. They put the foot in your door and you try to shut the door in their face. So anyone who is a crime in this country, according to all the saints and Christians, my interpretation of people who willingly create crime and chaos and disturbance of decency are in fact more as foreigners than the actual natives. They're no longer natives. Because not only are they breaking man-made law, they're breaking God's law. Lawless criminals. And Antichrist, they don't care for people who are weaker than them, are in fact foreigners. They're aliens. They're not even human. So this video was about 14 minutes. They seem to have gone. I can take my earplugs out now. Let's take it out. And I don't have natural earwax because of overuse of earwax. I don't have that yellow waxy thing in my ear, which makes me even more susceptible to accessible, or am I using the wrong English word? Because English is not my first language. I'm prone to getting ear infections for the long-term use of earwax. While these deaf so-and-sos, who are actually deaf, they need their ears cleaning. That's why they're so loud. And they say, well, they're shouting, that's their natural voice. I'm saying, no, it's not their natural voice. They can't hear themselves. They're shouting because they've got too much earwax in their ears. It needs cleaning. They're a pervert and obscurance of justice. Why can't they go and play at their parents' building or in that area, which is their block and their area and their bins, and leave my area and my bins alone? That's the point of doing this video, to say it's just realistically, much more than emotionally, it does not make sense. Why should they visit me since they have nothing to do with this building area? The answer is greed and harassment. So again, the parents are not saying anything. They've parked their children like cars or like weapons under my balcony. And they will argue it's a public area. But it isn't a pedestrian area. It's an area and a bin area. And yet they've been lurking around there for too long. How cruel can these parents be to allow their children to be around the bin area, behind the bin area, and the laundry area for too long? And to disturb someone who is disabled? So this has been going on for an hour now, almost. The noise, the screaming, the crying, the whinging, the whining, and the parents don't say anything. This is how I survive. I've got my keys on the end of the phone. And I put in, when I don't afford, I put in these pills, which are vitamin C capsules. Vitamin C. And the lid of the bottle is permanently attached, which is very practical. So it's chilled water with a lid,